Welcome aboard, everybody. It is officially 9 o'clock in Dallas, Texas, 7 o'clock in Seattle. I think it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in London. And I have no idea. It's tomorrow in Australia. And so welcome aboard. It's great to have everybody here today. And Fable, you're here. And
Hey, Fable.
there you go. That was Roger Moore saying hello. And Aaron's here. And Gary's here. And many others are here. Keith Anthony. That's the late night crowd or early morning crowd in the UK. But it's great to have everybody here. This is, of course, Icbch Tv, and the purpose of this is to get together each week so that you can learn something and have a chance to experience hypnosis as well. And we offer this every Sunday night, same time, same channel, and it's great to have everybody. That is, in fact, Ray Williams from Texas, by the way. And hello, Matt. You're in the future because I think it's tomorrow in Australia. So awesome to have you.
Time travel.
I know. So it's great to have everybody here today, and I am joined by Roger Moore. Many of you know Roger Moore because I've taught many classes with Roger Moore. But I'm going to give you a grand introduction, Roger. Is that okay?
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to go here with the grand introduction. I first met Roger many years ago, actually, but kind of knew who he was and that sort of stuff. And when I needed a hypnotist in my own life, I called Roger. I said, Roger, I need help. You got to hypnotize me. Roger gave me a lot of resources, a lot of great support. We've been great friends ever since then. Roger's well known. He's written a great book on bariatric hypnosis and has run the Slender for Life program and is a all-around great guy. And most recently, Roger and I talked with Kelly Woods at the Seattle Hypnosis Conference for, I think, the fourth year in a row, and we talked with Kelly Woods, and that was great. So there's the grand introduction, Roger. Anything
well,
you
thank
want
you.
to add to yourself?
No, you did awesome. I ride bikes. I ride bicycles.
Yeah, there you go. Roger's a bicycle rider. He rides his bike from Seattle, Washington to Portland. If you don't live in the USA, just Google that. It's not very close. So it's great to have Roger. I'm going to ask Roger a lot of questions tonight, and you have a chance to ask Roger questions tonight. And you can ask me questions as well. There's a chat box right below here, and you can type in the chat box any questions you have, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. One other thing about it, when you log in, it logs you in as a guest, because you're a guest. You can actually click on whatever says guest number 107 or guest 339 or whatever your number is, right by where you would type in the chat box, and it lets you rename yourself. So you can call yourself anything you would like, but I prefer that you call yourself either by a real name or by an internet handle that people recognize you, because it's fun to actually know who's here. So that's how you work that down below. And by the way, it is officially, at least here in the USA, Thanksgiving weekend. I guess this is the weekend that we celebrate the Native Americans discovering Columbus lost at sea, and so we have a big sales. That's what we do here. We eat turkey and have big sales. And so I did post a link if you're looking for a big sale, because people are always looking for a big sale. Last year, I actually had somebody mad at me and send a hateful email because apparently I did not have a Black Friday sale. So I actually did post a link right above here to some what I call Black Friday sales, and they will go until Monday. So now that we've got the commercial out of the way, let's get on with the subject. And Roger, we're going to talk primarily about weight loss and bariatric counseling. Probably the reason why is because A, you're an expert in it, but B, it's the first of the year. And for anybody in hypnosis, the first of the year represents a great business opportunity, and that is to build your practice with people looking for self-improvement, often specifically weight loss. So it's a great time to really hone your skills in this particular area. And Roger and I have taught a number of classes together on this subject. We've taught independently on this subject, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. But before I do that, Roger, let me ask you just a little bit about your own experiences with hypnosis. You know, one of the questions I get from people is, hey, Richard, have you ever been hypnotized? And my answer to that is, well, if I'm doing my job correctly, I experience hypnosis every time I'm working with a client. So I hopefully have experienced hypnosis there. But I've used hypnosis a number of different ways in my own life. Fear of flying. I've used it in relation to medical issues, arthritis, etc. How have you used hypnosis in your own life, Roger? And how have you benefited from that?
Well, I lost about 115 pounds with hypnosis. Prior to that, and I've kept it off ever since, thanks to hypnosis. Prior to that, I used it mostly for stress, anxiety, just a lot of stress reduction. More recently, I use it for just overall health and wellness. I use it a lot for sports, for riding, for bike riding. Those have been my primary areas that I've personally used it. But the big one was uh, just changing my whole lifestyle around food and my relationship to food and how much I ate, and also creating a desire to be physically active, because I went from somebody who hated to sweat to uh, being kind of a nut on the road when it comes to my bicycle.
And you are, in fact, probably one of the most physically active people I know, especially for being 29 years old. A lot of
Right,
people in
exactly.
their early 20s kind of quit working out now that they're out of college. Yeah, you've continued that all the way up to age 29. So that's great. Now, when you use hypnosis in your own life, how do you do that? Do you listen to any MP3s? Do you have anybody hypnotize you and work with you? Do you do any self hypnosis techniques?
I just using hypnosis. I do have what I call power minutes, which are 1 to 5 minute MP3 downloads that are they're actually my own recordings, but I will use them periodically throughout the day. But mostly it's just me on the go. Sometimes eyes open, sometimes eyes closed. Because when you're riding a bike and you don't close your eyes when you do hypnosis, and it's the greatest form of trance there is. But and it's a great place to give yourself suggestions about carrying on.
I think a lot of people have a mistake, and that is that hypnosis requires the eyes to be closed. I always say to people, the goal isn't to have 20 minutes of hypnosis. The goal is to become hypnotic. So, do you find yourself being able to utilize trance states without formal hypnosis while riding a bicycle, while working in the office, or doing anything else you do?
Oh, absolutely. Because I can either be powering up a hill saying I got this and being focused on having strength and energy in my legs and visualizing my legs as pistons and strong and powerful, or I can be struggling up the hill, moaning and groaning about how steep the hill is and I'll never make it and woe is me, ain't it awful, and either way it's trance. So it's what outcome do I want?
There's a sort of a saying, and I can't remember it correctly, but wherever the mind focuses, whatever the mind focuses on, the mind attains. So you notice a difference just in your visual imagery. If you're focused on the hill and the incline of the hill versus a visual imagery you've created of your legs as pistons, that's really pretty awesome visualization.
The other one I often use, and if I'm working with bicyclists, or either in my office, or sometimes one of the spin instructors will have me do something at the beginning of a spin class, or even during a spin class, but I'll talk about feet dancing on the pedals, and just that create that visual imagery of making it fun, and the speed and the movement and the momentum, and it's very powerful that way to create it that way versus seeing it as struggle and as work and being hard and difficult.
Sure. Now, I'm kind of watching the chat room here. Nobody's posted any questions, but anybody who has any questions for Roger or for me, feel free to ask any questions really at any time. Now, you teach your clients who come into your office, whatever the issue is, whether I know you obviously work with weight loss, but you also work in the cancer center helping people there to utilize hypnosis during their treatment and during the recovery phase as well. And you see clients for a number of different issues as well. You teach them all some self-hypnosis techniques, really beginning in that first session, don't you?
in the first or second session, depending on what's going on in the first session and if we have time to do it or not, and but soon. And whether it's autoimmune, I actually within the first probably 5 sessions working with couples, I will probably teach them self-hypnosis. And for when I'm doing couples therapy, because I'm marriage, family, child therapist as well, and I still do some traditional couples relationship counseling. And so, yeah, pretty much anybody walks in the door, that's how to do self-hypnosis.
One of the goals of non-guard TV, or I've renamed it Icbch TV.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to call this non-guard TV years ago, but I would rather have it called Icbch TV. So, or instead of non-guard care, Icbch care. By the way, in the chat room, I did post a link to some multicolored graffiti duct tape. So there you go. If you're looking for not just silver duct tape, but multicolored duct tape, that looks like a pretty creative option. My son actually made a wallet out of duct tape, and he uses it every single day. So maybe I'll have to get him this roll of graffiti duct tape for Christmas. Roger, who's not been monitoring the chat room, now looks thoroughly confused by why we're talking about duct tape. But I am monitoring many things here simultaneously at the exact same time. Hey, Jonathan Royals here too. Good to see you always, Jonathan. One of the goals, though, of Icbch TV is not just to talk about hypnosis, but to also experience hypnosis as well. So in each of the last couple of weeks, what I've done, Roger, is I've guided everyone through a short exercise in hypnosis. I wonder if you could take the next couple of minutes and actually teach us a self-hypnosis technique that you teach to your clients, and then guide us all through that process so that we can experience that as well. Maybe something like the light switch, or
okay.
And that's one of Bob Otto's techniques, but I think it's great. Can you share that with us? Because I know you use that with a lot of your clients.
Absolutely. And if you go to hypnosishealthinfo.com, up in the orange menu bar under self-hypnosis, the very first drop-down tab is light switch. And there's written audio and video instructions there. But I always tell folks, I would just say, raise their index finger. So if their finger's on the arm of the chair, or their lap, or wherever, just have them raise their finger. And I also tell them I really don't care whether they literally use their finger, squeeze their fist, do a Buddhist thing, tap their foot, slap themselves, but some sort of physical cue and anchor that it's time to relax. And years ago, I had a police officer, and the first time I had her use her index finger, she says, she says, I'm counting shots. That doesn't work. And so from then on, I started talking about some sort of physical anchor that they create on their own. But I just tell them to raise their index finger, and they understand that means do whatever they want to do. And they shut off their light switch, and just imagine, well, Richard, your favorite, most relaxing place, preferably outdoors, is where?
Actually, my favorite, most relaxing place, people would probably be surprised if they didn't know me, but since they do know me, they won't be surprised. There's nothing I would rather do than be on the Las Vegas Strip at night, simply walking.
Okay.
I enjoy that. It's my go-to place. In fact, 2 weeks from Wednesday, you will find me on the Las Vegas Strip.
And what do you see as you're walking?
I see lights, I see people, I see water, I see all kinds of.
What do you hear?
I hear the sounds of the Bellagio fountains. I hear the sounds of drunk people stumbling and security guards yelling and slot machines.
And what do you smell?
I smell probably diesel fuel and desert.
And where are you at right now?
Right now I'm walking on the bridge from...
See how quickly you did that?
What? Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly what you do. You shut off your light switch, take yourself to your happy place.
There you go.
Okay.
I'm going to Las Vegas.
For you, it's Las Vegas. For me, it's Paipu Beach on Maui. But wherever you want to go. Okay.
Yeah, Las Vegas is more relaxing than Maui.
Okay. No. Never.
Like I said,
Uh,
most people would say, "What do you mean the Las Vegas Strip, the most relaxing place?" But if those of you who know me know that I'm home when I'm there.
and the first thing, the first week or so of practicing this, I have them learn to do it in about a minute, roughly 55 seconds to 65 seconds. And the reason I want them to do it in a minute is to understand that they don't need 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. They don't need 27 minutes of orange blossom to have to be powerfully effective. That um, one of the kids that I've been working with test anxiety came in the other night all excited because she had just got an A in an exam and no anxiety, and it was a pop exam. She walked in the classroom, sat down. The teacher announced there was an exam. The teacher was passing out the exam papers, and this person used the light switch, gave herself suggestions, and was back up by the time the test was on her desk, and she aced the exam. And that before would have put her in a total tailspin. She probably would have been vomiting or having diarrhea and panic attack, and she was just totally calm and relaxed. So I teach that you can do this very, very quickly. When you have the luxury of 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 minutes, fantastic, go for it. So that's the basic structure of the technique. The other piece that I have them do is give themselves suggestions, anywhere from 1 to 3 suggestions. Preferably, they write them down, read them over, and then focus on the outcome of those suggestions. But when you're in a pinch, and you walk in the classroom, the exam's being handed out, you're probably not going to take the time to write it down. You just give yourself the suggestions, silently think them. I'm calm and relaxed. I aced this exam, and you go to your happy place and focus on acing the exam and being calm and relaxed. So that's the technique, pretty simply, and the details are, as I said, are at hypnosishealthinfo.com up under stress in the orange menu bar.
By the way, hypnosishealthinfo.com. I'm actually going to type it in the chat box. It's one of my favorite websites. Hypnosishealthinfo.com.
I got the chat box open, but I'm not seeing anything show up.
Well, I don't know how to troubleshoot you at this point, Roger.
That's a big task, big challenge.
I don't know. It's okay. I got the chat box.
Okay.
So Mark asked a question, though. He asked, does light switch work in place of an instant induction?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Because you can do it. It's self-hypnosis. You do it for yourself, and it can be very quick. I don't really have to. I often talk about imagining an endless staircase or escalator or elevator relaxation or a rope unbraiding or a pebble drifting down through the water. I don't do that. I just, I'm on Paipu Beach on Maui. I can feel the straw mat under my back, the heat of the sand coming up through the mat, the heat of the sun on my body, the coconut leaves rustling, the water's coming in, the plumeria. I'm there immediately and instantly, and I'm ready to go. So in that sense, yes, it works like an instant induction.
All right, so now let me ask you a question about this. Let's refine this a little bit, okay? And I do the same thing. I'm sitting here in my chair in the big city behind me, and I can decide that it's dirty and grimy here, and I'd rather go to sunny, beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. So I hop on my mental airplane, and I get there in 2 seconds, and I get off the plane and magically appear at night in front of the Treasure Island or something like that. And I can get there real quick. My own sort of private self-hypnosis instant induction. What do I do when I'm there? How's that useful or valuable?
Well, I talk about focusing on the outcome. In other words, you don't want to recite your suggestions over and over for the entire period. I'm calm and relaxed, I'm calm and relaxed, I'm calm and relaxed. That would drive anybody crazy and stress anybody out. What you want to visualize or where you want to do is see, imagine, mentally rehearse being calm and relaxed. You want to see yourself at your goal weight, or you want to see yourself healthy and no longer dealing with an autoimmune disease. See yourself going through the cancer treatment with grace and with ease. That's what you want to focus on.
So I was talking to somebody earlier today, and we're both NFCCs, marriage and family and child therapists. I was talking to somebody earlier today with an 11-year-old child and single parent, 11 going on 12, actually almost 12 going on probably 28. She was really stressed out, and she just said, I need to escape. She said, I just want to escape forever. This would be a great tool to teach somebody who expressed those sort of feelings of frustration. The other thing she said in her language when I was talking to her was I just need to find peace.
Okay, absolutely. The other thing that I would probably do would be in that moment to tell her just notice her relationship to her body. And then I'd have her wiggle her toes, wiggle her butt, take a deep breath in through her nose and out through her mouth, and get back here, get centered, become mindful, and just notice the peace that she's probably experiencing then.
Sure. And the other question here, then, Roger, is the light switch created kind of like an anchor? Yes, it is. The light switch
Absolutely.
is a metaphor for it could be anything. It could be a light switch. That's a metaphor. Okay, the light switch is the trigger that brings us there. Okay, I need to flip my light switch. I'm getting stressed out. Okay, or I need to flip my light switch. I'm noticing an increase in pain, or I'm about to eat a Twinkie. I better flip the light switch. So it becomes a metaphor that's an anchor. But there's nothing magical about the light switch. It could be anything, couldn't it?
Absolutely. And I've had people talk about using their happy button.
Okay.
And
kind of like the Staples easy button.
Yeah, that was easy. I tell people this is a basic technique. There's gazillions of them. Master this and then make it your own. And so happy buttons and happy places and just relax and breathe. And I pretty much know when somebody's talking about I did my breathing or I did my meditation. I know.
Roger, you seem to have frozen for a second.
Oh,
there you go. You unfroze.
Okay. What did you hear all that or not?
Yeah, I think so. I think your picture just froze.
Okay.
The limitations of broadband internet every now and then. All right, Roger, let's talk a little bit about weight loss. Specifically,
yes,
you're an expert in this. You wrote a book titled "Slender for Life."
Becoming Slender for Life.
Becoming Slender for Life is the title. There you go. And I think probably the pathway for you was based on your own experience in losing 115 pounds using hypnosis. But you've certainly refined that with experience in working with a number of individuals. You worked with John McDougall, who has authored a number of books in the area of permanent weight loss, etc. How would you sort of define your philosophy or your approach? Because you and I share something in common, and you and I are not fans. Doesn't mean there's not a time and a place. We don't need to actually have this debate here for simulated surgical procedures under hypnotic processes. Those go by various trade names, but they all have one thing in common, and that is that they bring a client in and simulate a hypnotic experience of the client having a surgical procedure. And I've never been a fan of that approach. And you and I share an approach that actually, surprisingly enough to me, is kind of controversial. How do you summarize your approach in working with clients?
Well, in addition to teaching self-hypnosis and other mindfulness techniques, the primary basis of what I do is plant-based eating, plant-based nutrition. And teaching people how simple and easy it can be. And it's amazing, with the more people increase the amount of grains in their diet, and the more they increase the vegetables in their diet, um, they end up cutting out the meat and dairy pretty naturally, and just could never I can never go without chicken, or I could never go without cheese. And then one day they say, it's been 3 months since I last had any meat, or 3 months since I last had dairy, and I haven't missed it. And they hadn't even really thought about it. It became a very natural process.
By the way, somebody asked if your book's available on Amazon, and the answer to that is yes. It's also available at hypnosishealthinfo.com. So there.
And slanderforlife.com. Actually, they'll find used ones on Amazon. They will not find it new on Amazon. Okay. You go to hypnosishealthinfo.com. It's up there in the right hand.
So I have a signed copy. I should send it. I should sell it on eBay for twice the money. Right?
You'd have to double price, absolutely.
Let me ask you a couple questions about helping people to lose weight. How do you structure sessions? Let's say I'm a new client and I'm going to come see you for weight loss. What's going to happen to me? You're not going to do a simulated surgical procedure with me, and you're not going to put me on a diet, are you?
Nope. Diets don't work.
All right. So what's going to happen to me over the next? Am I going to see you for 3 sessions, or 6, or 100, or?
First, I started out with a no charge, no obligation consultation. They fill out a 4-page form. It's pretty extensive, and I've been doing this since 1997, so almost 18 years now, and I pretty much know. Talking to them, and as I go through they've completed the form, and then I'm going over it, and I'm asking questions about it. I've gotten pretty good at reading people and understanding what's going on, and they tell their stories, and I relate my own experiences of the yo-yo dieting, and end up with a lot of similarities with each other, a lot of understandings, and then I develop a written program recommendation, and it could be probably no less than 8 sessions. First one's going to be about an hour and a half. The other is roughly 55 minutes, and what I call phase 1. After that, people move to phase 2, and that's generally 2 30 to 35-minute sessions in a month, so every other week. For however long it takes them to take the weight off. So for some people that might be 3 months. For some people it might be 2 or 3 years, depending on how much weight they have to lose, along with other medications and health issues, age issues that get involved. We just completed a study that I do every 4 to 5 years, and our success rate is always. Success meaning people have maintained their weight for 2 or more years. Just getting to your goal weight does not count you as a success, or just losing weight doesn't count you as success. You just have to get to your goal weight and maintain it for 2 or more years. We've always been around 44%, and we just wrapped it up, and we're running 49 point something at this point, which is a big jump, a 5% jump. I'm pretty excited about that, and that's. It's been just 5 years since I last did the survey. So in the last 5 years, we've had a significant uptick in people that are keeping the weight off.
Sure. All right, now let me ask you a question about holidays. It was very easy for me to avoid overstuffing myself on Thanksgiving. The reason why is this year I decided to not go to the relatives, not because I don't like the relatives, but because I had no kids this weekend, which was just
wow.
That usually doesn't ever happen to me. Between kids, stepkids, grandkids, it's hard for me not to have kids, and for some reason it just worked out and I had no kids. So I went to Dallas, and I went to the spa and relaxed because the Castle Spa, King Spa are open 24 hours, 7 days a week, and so I was driving to Dallas, and there was nowhere to eat. I got hungry, and I was like, oh, I'll stop, somewhere and eat, and nothing was open. In fact, not even the McDonald's were open.
Wow.
So right, and so nothing was open. So it was really easy for me. In fact, finally at the end of the day, I went into a gas station to buy a gas station sandwich just because I was actually dying of hunger, and the gas station didn't sell any sandwiches. They just sold beer, which I didn't have. So I went to bed hungry on Thanksgiving. But usually people, which was really pretty unusual. I think I literally ate, a couple pieces of shrimp at lunch and then left, and that was it. But usually people have a hard time at holidays. How do you work with clients to help them deal with holidays if they're not going to be driving to Dallas to go to the Korean spa?
Well, we talk about first what's their goal for their weight, generally between Halloween and January 3rd, and talk about weekends like Thanksgiving weekend, and maybe the goal for this weekend is to maintain their weight. The goal between December 23rd and January 3rd is probably going to be maintenance, that they shouldn't think they're going to try and lose weight during that period of time, that it's very okay to enjoy the tribal feast foods, and but remember that Thanksgiving is a meal. It's not pumpkin pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 3 days. That it's okay to enjoy a really special Christmas cookie, but you don't eat 12 of them. You don't have them for breakfast. That these are holiday foods that you enjoy once a year on special events, tribal feasts, and also our Thanksgiving, there was, I don't know, 18 or 19 of us at one of our son's house, and kids and grandkids and dogs and everybody else was there, and there's every kind of food imaginable. There was turkey and all those things and a lot of stuff that I wouldn't touch, but there was also lettuce, and I certainly didn't have a lettuce salad as part of my Thanksgiving dinner. It's like I eat lettuce every day of the week. Why on Thanksgiving when I ate lettuce when I could have more dressing, or when I knew there was pumpkin pie there and I was going to have some pumpkin pie? Well, and I talk about enjoying the holiday foods, but stopping eating, learning to pay attention and stopping eating when your body says enough, no more, instead of overeating. And we use a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being stuffed, 0 being starving, and to stop at about a 5 or 6, and that includes the pumpkin pie. You don't eat to a 12 and then put pumpkin pie on top. And when people start approaching it that way, and they give themselves permission to enjoy a piece of pie or a cookie, then it's amazing how well they do. And often they'll take a bite of the cookie and decide it's not very good, and they don't eat the rest of the cookie.
Right. Now, let's talk about something, Roger. Roger and I, a couple of years ago, I think it was 2012, but maybe it was 2013 or maybe it was 2011. Roger and I put together a certification program through the Icbch in bariatric hypnosis. Bariatric, by the way, is not a word that means surgery. Bariatric is the science or the study of or the medicine of weight loss. So, bariatric hypnotherapy doesn't mean we're going to do a simulated surgical procedure. The word bariatric has nothing to do with surgery. It has everything to do with the science of weight loss. And so we put together a program, and we taught it in Dallas, and we taught it in Seattle, and we taught it in Tampa, and maybe somewhere else, but we recorded it in either Dallas or Seattle. I can't remember which one. And then over the last couple of years, one of the things we've done is we have created a 4-week course out of it. So each week there's coaching with me and Roger, online, live, in this kind of a format, but then there's also access to the entire full 2-day seminar that we did in Seattle, as if you are a participant in the room. And there are some additional textbooks and other required readings for that course. Roger and I are offering that again in January, because that's the perfect time. It starts on Sunday nights, actually before Icbch TV. And it's going to start, I think that's Sunday, January 4th or January 5th. And below the chat box, if you were to go that far down the page, you'd actually find a link for it. But Roger, I was really excited about the opportunity to teach that class. What was even more exciting was the participants, both in the live version as well as those who've gone, because we've offered it once or twice a year over the last 2 or 3 years online in this format. I've been really excited that these professionals have not only found something useful for their clients' lives, but they've also found in their own lives there's been an incredible transformation. Could you talk a little bit about the class and about the outcomes that you're aware of from participants who have done it both live and online with us?
Well, I love teaching that class with you, Richard. When it's just fun to do with you. But what's been the feedback that you're talking about, I get emails from past participants telling me how much weight they've lost themselves, or how they've changed their lifestyle, or they decide to take me up on a challenge, and because they were suffering with rheumatoid arthritis and other inflammations, and so they took me up on the challenge and cut the meat and dairy out of their lives, and discovered that, as I often hear from my weight loss clients, they've never felt better. And they really didn't care if they ever lost a pound or not. The fact that they no longer hurt and have swelling was well worth the entire program. So that's just some of the personal feedback from past participants. But I also get a lot of emails from time to time from folks either asking questions about working with a client that they have for weight loss, or just reporting successes and the uptick in business that they've experienced because of the success they've had using techniques that you've taught and that I've taught them. And the word spreads mouth to mouth of, well, how are you losing your weight? And, well, I'm going to see this person, or I'm going to see Richard, and you got to go see him to lose weight. And so those are the types of feedbacks that I'm getting. The success stories has not only been personal success in terms of people losing the weight themselves, but also the success that they're getting from their clients, and how their business has increased.
Sure. All right. Now, probably for me, out of that class is really cool is we're so much more effective with our clients when we apply things in our own lives. So the setup of that course is we have the videos that teach how to work with individuals, but those 4 weekly classes really are focused on coaching those who are in the classes to accomplish some of their own goals, and so that's pretty cool. And I put a link down below. By the way, one more quick commercial. Up above, there's actually a link to some Black Friday special. So if you're the person who last year sent me an anonymous hateful email for not having any Black Friday specials, I did put some on the web today, or the other day. All right, so Roger, what I've done, and we usually take about 45 minutes in this class, or this Icbch Tv, so we probably have about 8 or 9 minutes left, and I always guide everybody through just a meditation / induction / experience of hypnosis that empowers and helps people to feel good and benefit from hypnosis. Would you do that for us tonight? Could you take the next
absolutely.
5 to 7 minutes and just guide us through an awesome process of self-hypnosis right here that can sort of launch us into the rest of the week feeling fantastic?
Okay, absolutely. So whatever form of light switch you might use to create, just shut off your light switch and allow yourself to enter into trance once again in your own way and in your own time. And just allow that letting go to occur, knowing that your conscious mind can and that it really will do whatever it is it chooses to do right now, while your unconscious mind continues to listen, to hear and learn and understand just what is said now as you relax and begin to remember other experiences of trance and re-experience all the changes in thought, in feeling, and in sensation as you just drift down now into that trance, even more comfortably and effortlessly than before. Relaxing, drifting down, letting go, allowing all those thoughts to drift, images to appear, and not needing to do anything at all. Not even needing to wonder what it is that you just might learn now as my voice drifts down with you. And you really can allow that feeling of trance right now. Even as you do that, just check in with yourself and reflect on a belief or perhaps a perception that you want to change about yourself and in your life. And just check in and notice if you want to continue to believe and perceive in this way, or if it's time to maybe make a decision with such firm intention that the amplitude of that decision carries a level of energy that's greater than any of the hardwired programs that are in your brain, and perhaps the emotional addictions in your body. And just allow your body to respond to a new mind, and allow the choice to become an experience that you never forget, and allow the inward experience to produce an emotion with such energy that it rewrites the programs and actually even changes your biology. Come on, be inspired. Make the choice to be greater than your past. Be empowered. Allow yourself to make this decision with such firm conviction that you're moved by your own energy, and surrender to belief in a greater intelligence, to a greater mind, and just let go and give up to the field of possibilities. And what is it you want to believe and perceive about yourself and your life? How would you like to feel? Allow yourself to just move into a new state of being. Allow your body to be lifted to a new mind. And let the energy of this choice just rewrite the circuits in your brain, and even change the genes in your body. What you can actually do here is perhaps is liberate from your past and move into a new future. Changing your energy by combining a clear intention with elevated emotion, so that matter is lifted to a new mind, and let the choice carry that amplitude of energy that's greater than any past experience. Let your body be altered by consciousness, by your energy. Shift into a new state of being. Just let this moment define you. Experience. Let it carry such an elevated emotional energy that becomes a memory that you never forget. So whether it's shifting from stress, anxiety to being calm and relaxed, or from disease to health and wellness, or creating a slender, healthy body, whatever change you wish to create in your life, allow yourself to be this change, to live this change, to mentally hurt. And in all the nights to come, have those healing dreams. Remembering the things that are safe and healthy and healing to remember, and forgetting the things that are safe and healthy and healing to forget. Allowing all these things I've suggested to your unconscious mind now today to begin to exercise greater and greater influence over your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, just as strongly, just as surely, just as powerfully, wherever you may be, as if you were here with me. And now, as I count forward from 1 to 5, allow each and every number to secure all these suggestions. So coming up now, 1, bringing your awareness back into the room and into your body. 2, feeling relaxed, refreshed, energized. 3, knowing that change really is all up to you. 4, being back, conscious, eyes open. And 5, light switch on. Welcome back. All right.
I'm back.
You're back.
That was awesome, Roger. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Every Sunday night, yeah, no, I snore, Jonathan, whether I'm awake or asleep. I don't know why. I even had a septoplasty years ago, and the ear, nose, throat doctor said that would cure my snoring. All it did was line his pockets with extra money, because I'm exactly the same afterwards, except in the wintertime, I can feel the scar tissue on my nose bothers me 25 years later. Yeah, very good. Yep. The backward or the forward threes, I guess, are not backwards threes. That's our international symbol for applause. So we'll give you applause there.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, Jonathan, I sent you a private message, so check it out. I don't know. So you can send private messages back and forth between people over here. I get Jonathan on here in the next couple of weeks. Behind the scenes, Jonathan and I have always been pretty good friends, so always fun to have him here. But anyway, that was really awesome, Roger. I really appreciate you taking the time with us tonight. For those of you who are interested in the upcoming class that Roger and I are doing, there's a link below the chat box, and that's going to start on January 4th or 5th. I can't remember.
4th.
January 4th, 5:30 p.m. Seattle time, 7:30 p.m. Dallas time. Hey, for you UK people, it's got to be like midnight or something like that, so it won't be so bad for you. But it's certainly been great to have everybody here tonight. Another thunderous round of threes for Roger.
Thank you. Thank you
very much, everybody. Looking forward to seeing everybody same time, same channel, same station next week.